What does President Biden want to do with your money? Well, first, we got to ask ourselves, how's he going to get our money? Well, what do you think the worst thing that could happen is when a new administration comes in, right? Raise taxes. That's one of the things that we'll be talking about. Next is, well, once they have those taxes, what do they want to do with those taxes? Is that going to be a benefit for you? And what things should you be looking out for in the economy? And then last, what are the things that you can do to prepare and better situate yourself as new administrations come in? So let's talk about taxes, right? What are these proposed changes? Well, some of the things are rolling back to the pre-Trump Obama level taxes, which would have top income tax rates at about 39.6%. So almost 40% of your money, if you're in that top tax bracket, is going to be headed over to the federal government. That doesn't even include statewide taxes and that sort of stuff. And that's up about 2.5%, a little more than 2.5% from the levels that they are today. The next real big thing is the corporate tax level. I think this is going to have probably more of an effect than the personal income tax level because they're talking about repealing the corporate tax level, which is today at 21%, which makes us very competitive in the world economy, and talking about bringing us back up to a 28% income tax level for corporations. So why is that a problem? We saw a huge boom in corporations and growth in the economy. A lot of it was attributed to this lower income tax level for companies. Well, now there's 7% less that could potentially be available for them to pay salaries, to invest in research and development, and to bring about new change and new development in the marketplace. On top of that, they're looking at potentially reinstituting a 15% alternative minimum tax, which is just another tax on business, which will slow their spending and slow their growth, right? Because all of these companies, what do they have in common? They're employing people. Having people employed is so vital to our economy. So taking money away from the corporations is actually also taking money out of people's pockets because there will be less jobs to be had. So what do you think about that, right? What do you think about more money being taken out of your personal paycheck and being taken out of the corporations, right? A lot of people think, oh, corporations, no problem, or oh, just the rich. But no, folks, it's everybody, right? So all tax rates are going up. So what is the benefit to you? Is there a benefit to you? Part of the idea here is that they're going to be presenting a $2 trillion, that's trillion with a T, $2 trillion package to stimulate and grow the economy. A lot of this is a rollback to pre-Trump, and actually when Obama first came into office, they had this idea of construction ready or shovel ready projects. A lot of what President Biden is proposing is these same infrastructure spending deals. They're talking about fixing 20,000 miles of road and new bridges and all sorts of stuff. So could that create jobs in the economy? It certainly could, but to what cost and to what effect? Are we going to see the same growth that we've been seeing for companies and private corporations, or are we going to be seeing more growth in the public sector again? So by now you're probably getting frustrated, right? It sounds like the government's going to step in, take some more money out of my pocket. They're going to maybe put it to work, and hopefully it helps me. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but I'm not really sure about that. By the end of this video, one of the things I'm going to help lay out for you is some ideas that you can use to better protect yourself moving forward. So one of the other proposed changes that could potentially be devastating to families is, it's kind of twofold. One is this change to the Social Security tax, right? And that could be a benefit because what they're going to do is release that cap and have higher income earners paying more into Social Security, right? But on top of it, what they're looking at doing is actually getting rid of the step up in cost basis when you're passing on, stuff to your heirs, right? Now you've passed away, your heirs may potentially have more income tax or more taxes to pay. So what does that mean? A step up in cost basis basically says that if I died today and I'm leaving a stock portfolio, the person that's inheriting that portfolio is getting it at today's price. Well, why is that important? Because there's something called capital gain. When you sell a stock or any sort of asset and you have a gain on it, there's a tax due. Well, short-term capital gain is the highest tax rate right now, right? So if I get a step up in cost basis, what that means is when I inherit that stock today, if I sell it tomorrow, there's basically no capital gain in that portfolio. And it's a great way for me to leave to my heirs something that they won't have to pay taxes on. It's been a great planning tool and a way to help create generational wealth. It also fosters investments into companies and have people be long-term investors rather than short-term speculative investors. If I lose that step up in cost basis, what that means to my family is they actually receive that at the same price I bought it for. So let's say I bought a company for $10, but today it's worth $100. Instead of my heirs being able to sell it at $100 and paying no capital gains, they sell it and they have to pay that difference on that $90 capital gain. Think about that in terms of millions of dollars worth of stock and portfolio, what that means and what the ways that people will try to get around or alleviate that. It's going to cause a lot of disruption in the market. So it's something you should really be watching and paying attention to.
Hey, this is Rob Gill for the Money Minute, and Eddie Gartner is dropping some world-class knowledge that can help put money back into your pocket where it belongs. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can hear more videos from Eddie.
So we've talked about this administration's proposed changes to the taxes, right? We've also talked about their shovel-ready projects and infrastructure spending. But what does this all mean for you? So let's think about this. Every 4 to 8 years, we're going to have an administration change. And each administration that comes in is going to have different ideas. And usually, if they're replacing a party that was already in power, that means a total and complete change to what just happened, right? We saw this happen when President Obama stepped in and kind of tried to change everything that President Bush had in place. Then when President Trump came in, he wanted to change everything that President Obama did. And now that President Biden's in, he wants to change everything back again. That's a lot of changes. That's a lot of seesawing. And what can you do in planning? Well, right now, if you're saving all your money in pre-tax accounts, right? IRAs, 401ks, all these things that are defined with rules by the government on how much you can put away, how much you can keep when you take a distribution, you're putting yourself at the mercy of whatever administration is in power when you decide to retire. That means that they get to tell you how much money you get to keep, at what age you can start taking it penalty-free. There's a whole lot of things that go into this that you lose control. You don't want to lose control of your assets. You want to maintain as much control as possible. So one of the things that we can do here for you at Epic is help you develop a game plan so that as these administrations change, you're always putting your money in the right spots, you're saving in the right vehicles so that you can set yourself up for tax-free retirement income. Also, better strategies on how to transfer your wealth to your family members. Because in the end, what we know is that it's not what you make, right? It's what you're able to keep. What you're able to keep and what you're able to transfer, what you control, right? So let's build a plan that helps you control your assets no matter who is in office. If you're ready to take the next step and really have control over your assets no matter who's in office, click the link below. A team member from Epic will help walk you through different strategies, things that you may not have been thinking about that can really position you moving forward in the right direction.